What's up guys, Sam Adams here, and tonight we're going to be talking about the Battlefield Hardline beta and my impressions of it so far, and specifically I'll be talking about the PlayStation 4 version. If you don't know what Battlefield Hardline is, it's coming out on March the 17th for all current and old generation consoles, as well as PC, and it's kind of hoping to bring a fresh change to the Battlefield franchise by putting more emphasis on infantry combat in addition to a shift from a military theme to a police versus criminals kind of theme, which is definitely an interesting change for this franchise. DICE, perhaps one of the most famous developers in the Battlefield franchise, is actually playing a supportive role in the development of Hardline, letting Visceral Games do the majority of the heavy lifting this time around. And if you aren't familiar with that company, they actually developed the Dead Space games, as well as put out one of my favorite first-person shooters of all time, James Bond 007 Agent Under Fire, that came out all the way back in 2001. So as far as the beta goes, there are definitely things that are done right and most definitely things that are done wrong. So first we'll go through what I think they did right and then wrong, and then we'll go into my final thoughts on how the beta actually turned out. So first off, Hotwire is a new game mode for Hardline that's supposed to be the headliner as far as game modes in the multiplayer section of the game go. It's basically combining King of the Hill and Capture the Flag from Halo with some vehicular combat, because you have the task of capturing and driving different types of land vehicles around the map while the opposite team tries to either destroy or take control of your vehicle, thus gaining more points for their team, and that's kind of how you end up playing the game. I wasn't really sure how this mode would turn out. In fact, I thought it might turn out like the Carrier Assault mode that came with the Naval Strike Pack in Battlefield 4, which never really took off with fans, but so far it does seem to swing really well, especially if you can get the opportunity to ride shotgun in a sports car and really pay attention to how the game is going. You can definitely rack up some points and kills there in the passenger seat. Next up is something that's pretty cosmetic, but the dust storm that takes place on the new Dust Bowl map is done very well. One of the maps in Battlefield Hardline is Dust Bowl, and much like Gulf of Oman 2015 from the second Assault map pack for Battlefield 4, a dust storm settles in lasting about 3 to 4 minutes. Personally, I feel that when it comes to dust storms in gaming, they can be very hard to get right, but what this particular dust storm gets right is that your vision is still greatly impaired at medium to long range, but you do have the opportunity to get some kills based on how helpful your teammates are when it comes to marking enemies. At the end of the day, the storm on Dust Bowl limits your ability just enough so that you feel the effect of a storm while still allowing you to get some kills while it's going on, and it does look pretty good, and the frame rate does stay solid throughout this experience. Next up, something that has been a long time coming in the Battlefield franchise, the ability to take ammo and health directly off of your teammates. In Battlefield Hardline, the ability to take health kits and ammo packs off of friendly operators and enforcers, which are basically medics and support classes if you're familiar with the previous Battlefield games, is a much needed addition to the franchise, just because, especially on consoles, the factor of teamwork doesn't exactly go so well with the community, and therefore you can be stranded without ammo or in very low health conditions for an extended amount of time, and this ability to just kind of help yourself to your team's supplies is definitely something that is a benefit to the entire Battlefield franchise as a whole, and I hope that they implement this idea in future editions of the game. Next up, let's talk about what I think the beta got wrong. So first off, Conquest has been one of the dominating modes in Battlefield since Battlefield 1942, which is still one of my favorite installments of the franchise. However, I do think it should have been excluded in Battlefield Hardline. The best way to describe how Conquest feels while playing the beta is that it's forced, almost as if the developers felt obligated to throw it into Hardline simply because it carries the name Battlefield. Frankly, the way Conquest plays, combined with the layout of the Dust Bowl map in particular that is playable in the beta, simply just does not fit together, feels lacking as a whole, and falls short of what I expect to get from a Conquest Battlefield experience. In addition to this, it also feels like Visceral might have changed the feel of Hardline just a little bit too much. Normally, Battlefield tends to be a grittier AAA FPS franchise as opposed to its competitors, but I guess if Hardline really is trying to be a TV cop drama style game, then it is a total success. However, when you consider that the majority of Hardline's incoming player base is those of us from Battlefield 3 and 4, you'd think that they might have at least used similar mechanics and appearances whenever they were making this game, and to me personally it just doesn't feel that way. What it comes down to is that this is a beta, so a lot of the issues that I have with this game will probably be addressed prior to launch, but that being said, I don't think Hardline is going to be a game for me, just based off of my personal preference. However, that can be up to you. In the comments below, please tell me what you think of the Battlefield Hardline beta, and if you haven't had the opportunity to play it, it's running all the way until tomorrow night. Right now, it is Friday, February 6th at 8:44 p.m., so you've got an entire 24 hours or so to really get your thoughts in on the game. So it's running on Xbox 360, PS3, all new-gen consoles, and PC at the moment, so if you haven't had the opportunity to try out the new Battlefield game, I would highly recommend doing so. If you've enjoyed this video, drop me a like down below, and don't forget to share it with your friends, because that's how my channel grows and I can make more high quality content for you guys. And if you've never seen my channel, please check out some of my other stuff. But again, tell me what you think about the Battlefield Hardline beta in the comments below, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.